and today I am very happy and very, very excited because I have a very, very dear friend all the way from US, right? And she is none other than Christine Naluzze, right? And she is an author, an upcoming author. She is also a life and business success strategist, right? So, hello, Christine.
Hey Lilian. Um,
Hello.
hi,
I'm
good to
I'm so glad to see you again, right?
again.
When was the last time we spoke like that?
I know
When
that
was
was
that?
way back, I think before COVID or during
Yes.
COVID, probably
Yeah.
before.
I
Maybe.
um I remember it's 2020. It's 20 early in April 2020 around that time. Yeah.
Right,
So I think
right,
just
right.
yeah.
So it's been
But
a
that
while. I'm just excited that we're talking again.
yes, fantastic. And you look great.
Thank
I've seen
you.
your post. I've been following on your Facebook, and I've seen the progress, the growth that you're making since the last we met. So you want to tell the audience, a little bit about yourself.
And thanks to you, Lilian, because I remember we did have a chat, a very, very wonderful talk that we had. So much clarity that I got from that call, and I thank you because you have been part of this journey, even without us, being in touch for this while. So I just want to say that that dose of courage that you gave me and clarity. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm excited to have you, talk to you again and just be here. And it's an honor. It's an honor. Thank you so much for inviting me
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
allowing me to come and to have another conversation and for that
Right.
warm welcome, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
it's just exciting, that I'm an upcoming author, and that's very exciting to me. It's been a journey, and all that happened during 2020.
Mhm.
So it's amazing. Amazing things have been happening. Like you mentioned, you didn't mention that I'm a mom of two.
Yes, yes, a
I'm a
mom of two.
Yes,
How old are
I'm a
they now?
mom of
Tell
two.
the
Yes,
audience.
yes. So I'm a mom of two, and we all live. I'm a single mom of two, and we all live in Massachusetts in the U.S., the New England area,
Mhm.
and that's where we do life. Many people like to call me a purpose pusher, purpose midwife, but I actually do help courageous women.
Mhm. Yeah, tell
Yeah,
us a little bit about that because I remember when we met for that clarity breakthrough call. Yeah, you're like sort of pivoting. You're looking at the different plans that you have. Different considerations, and the purpose midwife, or was one of it, right? And you're still
right.
doing it. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about that.
So I'll tell you, I got a lot of, I think at that time I was really searching. My soul was really searching. I was really searching for that thing that really, I think clarity of it, because I knew there's something there that God wants to do in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was here and there. I remember we talked about, how I was doing health and wellness, and I was trying to, try to figure out what it is. And I'm so happy that even after that, I kept, looking and thinking and working and really laser focusing on what it is that I really want to do. So that is what purpose pushing and purpose midwife came from. And I think it also comes from, from my community, from, most of the people that I hang out with, like at my church folks. That's what they see and that's what they call me. So that ties in well with also, my passion to help women really increase their income and impact using their gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So it all worked together. I'm excited that even my book ties in even more, right? And there's nothing as
Wow.
exciting as, yeah, there's nothing as exciting as really dialing in on the thing that really, excites you, and, something that you can do without even thinking, without worrying about being paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah.
comes later. So that has been a journey, and I'm excited that I'm at that point in my life where I'm passionate about what I'm doing. I'm happy about what I'm doing. I'm happy about life. And I think it's a step of courage just to step up and and step in. Right.
Yes, yes. Way to go, girl. I love it when you say yes, that dose of courage, And I think
Yes.
I totally agree with you when, especially when we, on the journey of discovering our purpose, and as we get clearer and more clarity about the direction and our passion and everything, like that, like the dots are connecting. The
Yes.
dots are connecting, and everything
Great feeling.
becomes clearer and clearer, right? Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
So I'm so excited for you. And tell us a little bit more about your book, your upcoming book. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
share with us
Oh,
about that.
thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that. Right. So this book, I always still, dreamt of, writing, all right? But I
Mhm,
didn't know where to start. I didn't know how, but I
mhm,
had these titles sitting around. I would think about something, I'd be like, that would be a nice title for a book. And then I'll put it down. But in that same year of COVID, I think this really came because of what we went through during COVID. Being at home, my kids were at home. I didn't have to, go out as much. So I think I was really thinking about my dreams, my goals, the things that I want to do. And while I was there searching,
mhm,
I got a divine connection. And
mhm,
this divine connection was a friend whom I didn't know that he did book writing or publishing or whatever. He was a
mhm,
full package. So he talks to me and he says, I see you write. I like to read from you. Do you write? I'm like, no, but I do have a list of 21 things that I want to write something. I had 21 things, on how to live intentionally. And
mhm,
some of those included, find help, do some soul work,
mhm.
seek God, network and find some, change your network and things like that. So
Right.
he looks at it and said, I think it's a great idea. So
Mm,
that is why it was started. We kept talking. We kept talking. We said we need to find a message that suits the times that we're in. And then my whatever I had was enough. Then we had to find a title. So
mhm,
he was everything that I needed, and he took me from yes, it can happen. He was a publisher. He was an editor. He was an editor. He did everything. So he took care of that part while I did the writing. But the journey wasn't very easy. So
mhm,
it was inspiration from the times we were in, but also, you know, what I know, what I have heard, what I've
mm,
experienced, what I have seen people experience. That is what is the strength for tough times. And how to thrive in the trying seasons of life. I write about 20 life strategies that we can all use. Like, anyone can. My daughter was reading the book the other day. It's like, Mom, it's fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's encouraging, right? Coming from your daughter.
Right. And my son, we were reading some chapters now before bed. He's like, don't bring any other book. Bring your book so we can read it. So
Ah,
I
that's
was
so
excited.
sweet.
Yeah, that, anyone can read the book. So it's just life strategies that anyone can use to go
Mm,
through those, tough times. Because
mm,
when you think about strength, sometimes we think of energy, to go over things, but I think the strength I'm talking about is the strength that sits on the inside of us.
mm,
The resilience, the
mhm.
courage that sits on and
Yes.
I think it's a divine. As I was describing it recently to a friend, I say it is I feel like it's a spiritual kind of enablement that
Mhm.
everyone needs to go through a situation.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited to share that, and it's gonna be launched soon. So that's even more
Right.
exciting.
Yes,
So
yes,
this
and
will
we
be
have.
launched.
I've actually put in the link. All right, the link. If
Yes.
you are keen to purchase, to purchase the book, all right, you can pre-order. Right, the
Hmm.
link is actually in the description as well. So, yes, get a copy of Strength for Tough Times. Right, and bless another woman, bless another person out there. Right, they
That's
will be
right.
very, very inspired, and this is really a lot of nuggets that you have shared in your book. Right, so excited,
Yes.
so exciting, isn't it? Yeah,
That's
I'm actually
exciting.
on the journey of writing my next book. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
this is
Oh,
also, yeah, but I have not actually really announced that yet. But yes,
yeah.
I'm working on it because as we go through life, like you said, there are lots of lessons, key
Yeah.
learning lessons that we learn and we apply in our life that works really well for us, and we want that to be um, to be shared. We want to share it with others out there who are struggling, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
feel like the world needs a huge dose of courage and strength that
yes,
comes from within.
yeah,
So we need
and
that encouragement.
yeah, and yet yesterday in our time zone, it was yesterday
Yeah,
was the World Mental Health Day, right? And
yes,
10/10. Today, yours is on the
it is.
your Sunday over there, right?
Sunday here, right?
Sunday, yes, yeah. So it's it's 10 of October on your side.
10, yes, 10.
Yes, 10. Right. For the audience out there, just in case you'll be wondering why the timing doesn't match when you're watching this show. Yeah, this is pre-recorded, right? So we just want to be upfront with you. This is pre-recorded because of the difference in time zone. So really appreciate you to stay up late to do this recording with me, right?
Right.
So thanks for sharing a little bit about your book and why you're doing and why you're writing this book. And I think it's really very meaningful. So I would like to find out a little bit more about your entrepreneurial journey as well, right? Because
Yes.
as we embark on this entrepreneurship, there are a lot of struggles, right?
Mm,
Especially when we are starting out. So we hope to share our experiences, what we have gone through, because for myself, I didn't have mentors back then, so my learning curve was really, really steep. And I went through the school of hard knocks. There's no school of entrepreneurship, but the school of hard knocks. We learn it through the hard way,
right.
and we want to share with the audience and those who are aspiring entrepreneurs or the female entrepreneurs who are just starting out, or
Yeah.
even on their journey of scaling their business, right? So we want to share. So share with us, Christine, some of your struggles. What are
Ab-
some of your struggles starting out as an entrepreneur?
Absolutely. So,
Mm,
starting with struggles, I think I feel like anyone who's aspiring to be an entrepreneur or already an entrepreneur, it is a calling. It's a calling, Lillian. It's not for everyone. And
right.
it kept calling in me. It kept calling in me. You know, that feeling where you feel like there's more, there's something, there's more. And for me, I saw that calling because I was always drawn to um, how to do something more, how to increase my well-being, how to make my life more comfortable, how
Mm,
to make better for my children.
mm,
And suddenly, I've always been contributing to church community. So, all those things were calling. And I remember when I just started, I started with selling products.
mm, mm-hmm,
And that was through a friend. So,
mm-hmm,
and I was telling my friends that, if you're a mom, you gotta have something on the side. You gotta
mm,
have something you're selling at least. So that is how I started. My friend got me into selling travel, and another friend got me into selling health and wellness. Another
mm,
friend got me into selling another health and wellness. And so that is how. But there was something unique, about the experience. And that
mm,
is, those are things that I didn't know, but I really appreciated after that. And that was personal development.
mm,
I was introduced to things that I didn't know. Well, I knew, but I was like, how do you even do it? How do you start structuring your life? How do you start managing your time? How do you do it? And I had a job, because usually you have a job and now you're trying to transition because you're trying
mm,
to make, ends meet.
mm,
So, and that process is not easy. And I
right.
was as a single mom as well. So
Yeah.
single mom, you're still doing a job, trying so hard, it can be hard. But I
Yes.
push because when I started seeing other people having success, having
Mm-hmm,
things that I desire, I was like, that's an encouragement. And I was like, I think I can do it also.
mm,
So, a lot happened in MLMs when I was selling products, but that was a learning curve for me. So,
mm-hmm,
I learned a lot in terms of networking,
mm-hmm,
right? The need for, changing your circles. If you've been hanging out with your sisters and mom and, and friends, you have to change that and now find people that are in line with where you want to go. I learned about goal setting. I learned about
Mm-hmm.
time management. I learned about, being intentional. So,
Mm.
I didn't make so much money when I just started by selling little other people's products, but I
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, now I start thinking, I think I can do something from, I can create something.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can do something, from me being creative. So now I
Mm-hmm.
started searching. I'm like, what else can I do? Because now I'm seeing other girls that we were hanging out with doing that MLMs, and now they were transitioning into their own small businesses, or
Mm-hmm.
transitioning into their own, creating their own products, creating their own thing, whether it's a product or a digital product or a service or things like that. And I was attracted to that as well. So I
Mm-hmm.
kept going, I kept searching, and I was still having a job, and I was still having a responsibility, of my children.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hard, Lilian, you know, but just the strength to go on, I think it comes from within. There's something
Mm-hmm.
calling, and it's not stopping. And that is what I want to, talk to our viewers also, that if that thing is there, you cannot run away from it. If you're feeling
Right.
the urge to go become an entrepreneur or scale
Mm.
your business or think
Mm.
more, you just can't run away from it.
Yeah.
So that is how now, I said, now, God, you got to speak to me and tell me what it is that I can do, right?
Right.
In
Right.
terms of now impacting other people with who I am, with the gifts that I have, with the skills that I have, with the experiences that I have. And I've realized we can do so much with the gifts that God has given us. You
Right.
can sell a product, you can sell a service, you can create a book, you can do so much. But at the end of it all, it's the impact that we bring to the world. It is and I also learned that entrepreneurship is service. It
Right.
is just serving with the gifts that God has given us. So that means we have to embrace it holistically, I would say, mind, body, and soul.
Right.
So in my journey, most of my struggles also were the mindset, the
Mm.
mindset to do it.
Yeah, I think yeah, you touch on many points that are
Yeah,
really good for discussion. Now, before we
right.
move on to the mindset, I just want to go
Mm,
back to what you shared earlier, like um, you have that desire to
hmm.
actually make life better, right, for
Right.
yourself, for your family, for your
Mm,
children. Yeah, especially as a single
yes.
mom, it's really tough taking care of two kids on your own, right?
Right.
And but with that intention, with that purpose, that desire, and then slowly it developed, and you found more clarity with that purpose, right? Before, at first you just wonder how to start, that the
Right.
desire, that passion that got you moving to step out, with that courage, and you didn't know better, you don't know what you don't know, but you took action. You took action, and you experiment with different things, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And the selling was the, to me, was can be a challenging um clearance of your
Right.
mindset, right? Yeah.
You're wondering why you're not selling, but you don't know
Yeah.
that there's some things that you're dealing with. But I'll also share with you,
Mm,
way back, I just remember that in 2012, I think I was living in South Korea then, and I still had the desire, but I was scared of even because at that time the internet was evolving, working online and all that. I was
mm,
scared of working online. I was
mm,
scared of getting my debit card or whatever and put it into, but I wanted it.
mm,
And I remember 2012 as, I think because I wasn't connected, I didn't even know who else was doing it, but I desired to work from home. I desired to do something, at the comfort of my home.
mm,
But then I think in 2018, imagine 2012 up to 2018 or maybe 17, that is when now I start getting involved and I open up. I use
mm.
not like Facebook and social media. I did not want it because I was scared. I thought
Right.
everything was a scam. Can you imagine? And then 2017 and 18, I'm like, I wish I had, started. I wish I had trusted, and I wish I had
Mm,
trusted myself to
mm,
go with a revolution that is happening.
mm.
And it's not too
Right.
late, right?
Yep. Yes. I think the most important lesson here, that hearing from your story is
Yeah.
that, taking action, having that courage to take action, and trying out, just put yourself out there
Yeah.
and do something, right? And that some
Mm,
of course that something is in the direction of, your goals and your purpose, but it,
right.
it doesn't have to be crystal clear yet, right? But at least it is in that direction. Yeah, we
Right.
can make adjustments along the way, like what you shared. I really love what you shared about learning, the leadership, learning about
Mm,
setting goals, learning about the different skill set in sales, right? Yeah, in selling,
which
because
I
for
didn't have.
yeah, so putting yourself in an environment that has that support you in your growth as a
Very
as
key.
a entrepreneur, yeah, or moving forward,
Yes.
yeah. And then you mentioned about the different mindsets that we have to overcome, right? So what are some of the beliefs and mindset that you need to address to overcome your challenges? Just give us one or two mindset that was like very evident, it's like in your face. You really need to address this.
I realized that everything I had to change my mindset towards it. Like I
Hmm.
had money mindset, issues.
Mm-hmm.
Asking for the sale, talking about money, making those phone calls to tell people about my business. That was that. But also, I had just some kind of fear that I had to show up, right?
Okay.
And I had to learn to show up. I had to learn to open my mouth. I had to learn to ask, and I also
Mm,
had to allow myself to learn,
mm,
right? Learn
mm,
from the people that were doing it. Like if they can do it, I can do it. And also the other thing was also reading, and of course listening, and continuing to learn, and get myself, like I would identify an area that I'm struggling with, and then I start reading everything, a lot concerning that area. But
mm,
I would say those limiting beliefs,
mm,
they can be such a barrier.
mm,
And sometimes you need someone to help you. You need a
mm,
mentor to help you.
mm,
um, I remember when I was just starting, I used to follow so many people. There's a lot of, and that's a good thing too. There's a lot of free, resources out there. YouTube University, a lot of that. But I'll tell you, when I, like, for example, when we talked on the phone for a
mhm,
clarity call,
mhm,
that was powerful. So, once you go through all the free resources and freebies and all that, free information, sometimes it's too much information. At some point, you need someone to hold your hand,
mm.
right, and
Right,
take you
right.
through the process, take you through the thoughts, and all those things. But sometimes you want, but then there are things that come in and stop you, right?
Yes.
You want to make
Yeah.
the change, but then those things still come. So you need someone to hold your hand.
Mhm. I think you have a growth mindset, a lifelong learner's mindset. I think that's a great attitude. And for you to
Thank
reach out to
you.
me was actually was quite a surprise for me, because it
No.
was like, yeah, you're from another part of the world, and and the time difference. Remember, I think
I
it was
know.
really late into the night, right?
And we
But you
did
were
it.
still busy taking notes. You was like, yeah. So I saw that passion. I experienced that passion,
Mm,
that the attitude to really absorb and learn, and want to get this sorted out.
yes.
That was really powerful. Even for me, supporting you in that point, that moment in your life. But you
Mm.
inspired me as well with your
Oh,
attitude. Yes, really,
yes.
because and it was such an encouragement, because like I mentioned, we were two different
Worlds apart.
time
Right.
zone and worlds apart. Yeah, but that was a really powerful session for the both of us.
Yes.
And how God brought us into the same moments, and in exchange of that learning for the both of us. Yeah, and that support that was provided. So I think for our audience out there, yes, if you have certain mind blocks about that you don't know this, you don't know how, I don't
Yeah.
have this qualification, I'm not good enough in this, or this, all this I don't have, I can't, I
Mm,
cannot.
mm, mm.
Tear these limiting beliefs down, tear them down one
Love
by
it.
one. And like what Christine mentioned, don't be shy about or embarrassed about reaching out for support, because you know what, reaching out support is not weakness, it actually requires courage to do
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Mm.
So when we are able to reach out for support, we are actually exercising courage, right?
I
And
had to learn that the hard way.
yeah, and that's what you did, you reach out for support, and you receive all the different knowledge and expertise that was imparted into your life, and you absorb them, and then look where you are now. It's just within a
Yes.
short time. It's such a within a short time, and so much has happened. Like I said, I've been following your Facebook, and I see the change and the
Mm,
transformation that you are
mm.
going through. And
Thank
I'm really,
you.
really very, very proud of you, Christine. Really, really
And I'll tell
very, very
you,
proud.
it it leaves a lasting impact, Lillian, because when you reached out, I was like, oh, we must do it, and it's been a while since we last talked, but that those connections, I think they're very, very, very important. If you connect to the right person, that impact is gonna stay, and then you don't know the next time you're gonna work together on a project or something. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's something we can discuss about, right? there's no limits. Geographical
Yes.
is not a limit. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, we will talk about that in the near future.
Lovely.
That's when we're able to travel more. And I think yeah, US. I think we can go to the US now, right?
That's right, huh?
Yes. So I think it's divine timing too. Yeah,
Hmm.
then we'll talk about Transform with Courage bootcamp soon. Right.
Right,
So
right.
let's dig a little bit further. That now okay. First was the mindset, right, and then of
Hmm.
course you took actions, right.
Yeah.
So to get started and move you forward. Now, what about what are some of the actions that you are taking or you took to actually stay in the game and achieve your goal? Because starting is one thing,
Right.
staying in the game is another thing, right? And to finally achieve your goals. So, what actions did you take, Christine? Share
All
with
right.
us.
And I'll tell you that a number of things that I had to work on as a
Mm,
person, both personal, and also, being an entrepreneur, definitely the skills that you have to learn, things that you have to start doing.
mm,
Um, First of all, managing my time.
mm. Time, yes. Intentional living, right? That's what you mentioned.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
managing my time, because I was used to going to a job and, just come home and do my thing with the kids and run in and run out and, unscheduled, because, it's not so easy just to have those schedules. They're doing school, you're doing, you're running to a job. It was very difficult. So just transitioning from that to now, trying to do my own thing, the tasks, things that I have to do, I just had to learn to take
Right.
care of my schedule.
Mhm,
And I think just learning to do that was
mhm,
very, very key in helping me, be able to do things that I have to do, take the actions that I have to do, and do the tasks that I have to do, like maybe in a day.
mhm.
And
Right.
of course, my calendar, I had to learn, and I
Mhm,
had to learn from someone else to tell me you need to get use that calendar, put everything that you have to, your personal, your children, everything, your business, and then you
mhm,
can work with that calendar. So me managing that time was really something that helped me, of course, as an entrepreneur, but also
mhm,
give me a little bit of boost in my personal dealings as a person. And then what the other thing, the time thing,
mhm.
it looks simple, but it was very difficult to really
Tell me about
understand
it.
it and get it.
Yeah.
And then the other one that I had to do is, and it starts with my morning routine. Because I
Mm,
didn't have that. I had to force myself, irrespective of what I have to do during the day, I had
mm.
to get into it. And I had to practice that for a while for it to become a part of me. And that is
Yes.
an area that I cannot compromise with when I wake up
Mm,
in the morning, because I know if I don't If I don't do that, then that day is gonna be funny. So my morning routine, I guard it jealously.
Wow. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And there are a few things that I do in the morning that I do not really negotiate with.
Yeah.
So wake
The
up in the morning,
non-negotiables.
right, do my soul
Yes.
work. Gotta take
Yeah.
care of Christine. Because I know
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not balanced, and that's the mind, body, and my spirit, then it's
Mm.
impossible to take care of business. So my
Right.
morning routine, very, very key. I do it every day. I'm now so used to it. Sometimes I even go overboard. I'm like, okay, it's okay. I need it. I was talking to another, friend of mine. She said during COVID, she had to
Mhm.
increase the time that she spends, on self care. And she said she
Mm.
increased more, added a little bit of more time during that day just to do more, self care and just attending to themselves. Because when I
Mm.
realized that, the blocks that I had, the money blocks, the self-worth, the things that I was like, I can't do this, I'm not worthy, I can't. I realized that all those were things that were happening on the inside. So
Right.
for me personally, I had to do a lot of soul work, of
Yeah.
healing on the inside.
Mm.
Because and when I got into it, I started seeing a difference in how now I deal with the tasks,
Mm.
with my customers, with my tasks, with the things on my task list, and I'm continuing to do that.
Mm.
So soul
Wow.
work, yeah,
Yeah.
what goes on the inside
Yeah.
affects what goes on the outside, right?
Definitely. Yes.
I
Yes.
know you
Wow.
do.
Thank.
You-
I mean, thanks for sharing your, the actions that you are taking, to stay in the game. Yeah, I totally agree with you about the calendar thing. Right? It's like show. I heard someone said before. Someone told me this before that show me your calendar, and I know how your life is like, whether you're going to be successful or not. Yeah, just show
right.
me your calendar. Yeah, don't,
That's
don't show
right.
me your to do list. Show me your calendar. Because you can have a whole long list of to do list, but if
Right.
they are not in your calendar, yeah, who knows?
And
The
what
distraction
happens? The
will
beauty
come.
about it, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's saying, Lillian, that
Yes.
the beauty about taking care of the calendar is you get to take care of everything. If
Yes.
it's your personal, if you're spiritual, if it's physical, if it's your children, if it's other relationships, if anything else. So you put it in there, and
Yeah.
if someone says, show me your calendar, then I know that you're even being balanced, because
Mhm.
entrepreneurship can be overwhelming.
Yeah. And I think it's
Yeah.
about, for me, I see it as more like an integration of, like, just now, because
Mm,
you mentioned, we have body, soul, and spirit, right? So
right.
there are different facets of us. We are not just this hard shell,
Yeah.
not just this
Right.
body, but we are body, soul, and spirit. So, and
Mm,
we want to be able to integrate, all these aspects of us in that calendar. Like,
right.
I really love what you mentioned about the morning devotion, the non-negotiable, right? So that
Yes.
is something that I guard, like you use the word jealously. Yeah, that is really guard it.
Yes.
It is so important
Mm,
to start the day. For me, I start the day on the spiritual aspect of myself, self, right, before
mm,
the
mm,
physical, and then the mental. Yeah, and
right.
yeah, so that component is non-negotiable. The morning devotion is non-negotiable. The
Right.
calendar is something that you must have, whether you are an entrepreneur or not, in
Yeah.
leadership or not. If you want your life, you want to live a purpose-driven life, a fruitful, fulfilling life, yes, morning devotion, calendar, right? There are different ways of working around your calendar, right? For me, I'm very attached to Apple, iPhone. But
Right.
there are different, color code. You can create different sets of calendar, and you
Mm,
can have different color
mm,
for family, for work, for community, or whatever. Yeah. So find out what works for you. There's so many different technology apps out there that can support you in managing your calendar, right? So
yeah.
that's intentional
Yes.
living, right? And then,
That's
yeah,
right.
so taking action, consistency is the key, right? Thank you so much for sharing that. So much nuggets of wisdom, and experiences from yourself that you are sharing. So our audience, you are really in for a treat, right? So much nuggets. If you can't note down everything, just don't worry, just replay this, just play this over and over again
Right.
until you get everything from Christine. Right. Christine, I've shared with you earlier, before we start this live recording session. I mentioned to you about Her Courage Business Network that we're going to launch in November, where we
Mm,
want to provide this platform for female entrepreneurs to come together, not just to network, but really to grow ourselves as a leader, a courageous women leader, and also to support each other in our business. So because now the world is getting smaller with the internet,
mm,
so this and networking between different countries is possible, right? So we
right.
want to provide that network to help our female entrepreneurs grow their business, or scale their business. So that's where
Right.
Her Courage Business Network is born, and we're going to
Mhm.
launch it on the 2nd of November. And her, to us, we have put in values, because values we view are very important, not just as an entrepreneur, but as a person as well. So three simple ones to begin with. Of course, there are more, but with the title Her Courage Business Network, her as in honor, because we feel that honor is our code of ethic, being
Right.
an entrepreneur. Empathy, E for empathy, which is our language for business, is
Right.
our language, and as well as responsibility, which is what we practice in our business, being a responsible business owner and leader in the marketplace. So share with us, what does honor, empathy, and responsibility means to you?
That's amazing, and I believe where we are now, and entrepreneurship, and how the world has opened up, right? To
Mm,
as so many opportunities to get together. I believe community is very important.
mm,
If you're up to anything, if you're an entrepreneur, you got to have a community,
yes.
because that is where you get the strength to go on, the accountability, and also the support.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I think her, which is HER, honor, empathy, and
Responsibility.
responsibility, it
Mm,
just, talks about us as women,
yeah.
right? So,
Yes.
which is honor, and I believe honor, empathy, and responsibility, those are God-given treasures that I think if we hang on to them and hold them very dearly, I
Mm,
think we can grow together. Because when it
yes.
comes to honor, I believe, as entrepreneurs, where we owe to honor ourselves, honor the gifts that God has given us, the skills, the experiences, our stories, and
Mm,
what we bring to the table, for other women to benefit.
mm,
And then which, goes ahead being empathetic, just understanding, others and, their journeys, just
mm,
being knowing that, when someone is going through something,
mm-hmm.
we can understand, and sometimes we go through the same things.
Yeah.
So it ties into who we are as women, that we go through certain things as moms, as women, and we ought to be,
Mm,
empathetic and enough to
mm,
other entrepreneurs. And certainly responsibility that is God given, and like we mentioned, entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but if God has really put you somewhere to impact people, he has, selected you for that particular thing, because what you can do, Lilian, I may not be able to do it,
mm-hmm.
and there's maybe something unique that I can do, but that means responsibility is individual. Each one of
Mm,
us is supposed to be responsible for that which God has put in our hands.
mm.
So
Yeah.
that's how we look at, honor, empathy, and responsibility as moms, as women, as entrepreneurs, because we're here to impact the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts about honor, empathy, and responsibility. I think that's
Right.
very well covered. Last question. Last question. It's a rare opportunity to be able to meet like that. So I must ask as many questions as I can. Okay, last one. Last one. What does courage and leadership means to you, dear Christine? Courage and leadership.
When I think about courage, I think about the things that we're able to do, irrespective of the resistance, irrespective of what's going on, irrespective of where we have been or what we have been through.
Mm,
So it doesn't mean that there is no resistance, or there are no adversities, or there are no barriers or things that are stopping us. But it means that we have embraced that gift.
mm,
We've understood who we are. There's also understanding who you are to be able to come out courageous. So you're like, I'm going for it,
mm.
irrespective, because I know who I am and I know where I'm going. So
Right.
I'll tie courage in with our vision. If you know where you're going and you have that vision very clear, there's no way you're not going to be courageous to go for it. So in between your vision and the end, your vision and then where you are, there's so many things in there. So it's going to take courage to be able to bridge that gap.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe that courage is something that God gives us. And once we have that connection, always like to do that soul work. Once you do that soul work and you realize who you are, that you're not here by yourself, that there's that spiritual force that sits on the inside, there's
Mm.
no way we cannot be courageous, because we
Right.
have we have something to depend on. And then leadership, to me, is when of course, like I think of responsibility. When we do have responsibility, you just have
Mm,
to when we step up, we definitely qualify to be leaders in our own worlds. Think about being a mom, and my kids
mm.
look, I
Yes.
feel like they have my little school, my little ministry or responsibility. So
Mm.
I'm automatically a leader to them. So and
Yes.
usually, and sometimes when I have little bit of difficulty in my, maybe entrepreneurship journey, I step back and see, but see, I have these two children that I'm taking care of. I do this, I do this, I take care of them, make sure they're emotionally okay, I make sure they're going to school and everything is okay. And I put, I embrace that. I say, Lord, I'm doing something, and I'm a leader. You've given these to me, and I'm a steward to them. So I
Mm.
need courage to be able to take care of those other things. So once
Right.
we step up in any area, I believe we've already embraced leadership.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think knowing that you are a single mom it's already very inspiring, and that see, witnessing how far you have come just within a short span of time. Um,
Right.
and being a leader to your children. I think that's a great role model for them, right? In the school of
Yeah.
life, right? Life is a classroom. Life is a classroom.
Mm,
Uh, and
mm,
having a mom like you to lead the way, to walk the talk,
right.
right? And to demonstrate to them what courage looks like. Yeah, I think that's the
Yes.
most valuable lessons that they are able to catch on. Yeah, right. It's not something that you can just teach by lecturing. It is
Mm,
something that we
mm.
demonstrate, right? Yeah, and
That's
I
right. Yeah,
I also
that's
love what you
correct.
said, that you requires courage for everything, right? And
Yeah.
I that reminds me of the quote, my one of my favorite quote by Maya Angelou. She said that courage is the most important virtue, right? You can't practice any other virtue. You can practice them erratically, but not without courage. If you want to be consistent, you want to be
That's
consistent
right.
throughout. Yeah, courage is the most important virtue. Yeah. So wow, thank you so much again. I can't thank you enough for setting aside your valuable time to have this session together. For our audience out there, if you want to connect with Christine, her Facebook link, social media link is in the description, right? And this recording, do like and subscribe to our Voices of Courage Asia podcast as well as YouTube. They'll be both on the YouTube and podcast as well, and on our Class Living Facebook page, right? So do support us, and share this recording to as many women as you can, so that they too can be inspired and empowered to take action and create that change that they want to see in their life. All right, so last but not least, I just want to do a shout out again for Christine's book, Strength for Tough Times, right? This is the pre-sale link. right? It is also in the description. And for those of you who wants to join us in our Her Courage Business Network, right, do click on the link as well, hercouragebiznetwork.com, right? Her as in Her, courage, Courage, biz, biz, network, network.com. Okay, so thank you very much, Christine. We catch up real soon, to discuss about what we can do together in the US.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, thanks, audience. We'll see you again next week.